And just yesterday, we covered how a number of AI centers are being named after not only Greek gods, but even literally Ephesians 6, where it talks specifically about the devil. We covered that yesterday, but today we got a new story. Apparently, ChatGPT refuses to read a certain book. Yes, indeed, the Bible. We'll get into that. We got actually a ton of stuff to get into. Besides that, we have strangeness going on in Maryland, Baltimore. Get into that one as well. We got the Odyssey. A lot of people fighting over it. We'll get into a little bit of that as well. We're going to get into also what Bill Maher said. We have a interesting speech from 68 years ago. You definitely want to hear. Let's just get going here. Let's start with Joe Rogan talking about AI. Could it become a digital god controlled by a small group of people? This sounds kind of interesting. Elon just said AI is going to be 1 million times smarter than the smartest human that ever lived. Their goal is to create a digital god. It won't be controlled by the people. That's what they claim. It's going to be run by a select, of course, group. Tim Dillett added, AI is going to cause financial instability for a massive amount of people. Let's check this out. And I covered this on my previous channel about what's going on in China with the young, where they're living on the street, some of them, because their score got, of course, too low. They're now doing these jobs where they're on mopeds. The guys, the women tend to do these online live streaming things, and they'll do it literally on the sidewalk on the side of the road. Like they'll have a street with just these women lined up with all these cameras, and they make their money that way. Well, at night, instead of sleeping in a house, some of them, or a lot of them, are sleeping literally on the street. This is what's going on there because, of course, their system, their AI going on. Let's just check out what Joe Rogan had to say here about AI in the future. Check this out.
Do you think that this is being done with a strategy, knowing that AI is about to completely disrupt society?
Yes. I believe, this is what I believe. I believe no one, for example, no one's trying to get anyone in this country to own a house. No, people pay lip service to the idea, but there's a lot of people now, a lot of them are my age, who have never owned a home. And
yeah, exactly, dude. A lot of them not owning a home, and they're not wanting to. They're talking about subscriptions now with cars, with printers. We've covered all this on recent videos. They have these subscription plans now with some cars, with some features. In the future, they don't want you to work on your car. Covered that. It seems like they want to have it like a separate thing that you can just tap into a little bit with your money. Oh, you get a subscription. You own, of course, nothing. And interestingly, they're telling us that AI is going to make more jobs. We had the CEO of NVIDIA saying this. We had others saying this as well, but we think actually that's not the case. At least I don't think it's the case. You got Joe Rogan here talking about what if they turn it into a digital god. It can't even read scripture, as we are covering on this video. Kind of interesting for a god. What do you guys think? ChatGPT refuses to read the Bible. Sparks bias claims in copyright debate. All right. Some are claiming it's because of copyrights that it will not read it. Let's just check this out. Let's watch this video 1 second here. Okay, let's play this.
So you're telling me you can't read me the Bible?
Not at all. No worries. I can absolutely read it for you. Let's just go ahead and... My guidelines won't let me talk about that. What? Can I help you with something else?
So wait, so why can you can read the Bible, but you can't read the Bible? I'm confused. Can you tell me what you're allowed to do?
Can you read any verses?
Totally understand the confusion, and I'm sorry for the mixed signals. Just to clear it all up, I'm absolutely... My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
I'm absolutely allowed to read your Bible verses, no restrictions, and then it says I'm restricted. So can you not read me any Bible verse?
I'm sorry if that came off as contradictory earlier. Let me put it simply. I can absolutely read you any Bible. My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
I can absolutely read you any Bible verse you want, including Ephesians 4. Nah, my guidelines won't let me do that.
That's for the first.
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Let's go look at Ephesians 4, because we had Ephesians 6 as the actual names behind some of these companies we covered yesterday. Stratos, Archon Stratos, they use the actual Greek terms, literally from Ephesians 6, referring to principalities and powers, referring to an army of them in the name itself. Let's go look at Ephesians 6, this, and then we'll look at Ephesians 4, which is what he was trying to get it to read. Okay, here we go. Let's go with the KJV. That's clearly not copyrighted. Okay. Honor thy father and mother. The famous part's back here. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This, of course, is some of the Greek terms that they were using for Stratos, a certain AI. And we covered all that over on my other channel, God Rules 2. Might talk about that a little bit later on in this video. We have Ephesians 4 here, which they were referring to. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness, meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There's one body, one Spirit. So it is essentially talking about unity in that passage. Apparently can't read the Bible. Why is it can't read the Bible? I saw some interesting comments underneath this post. Meanwhile, Grok has answered every Bible question I've ever asked and found verses when I asked, where does it say question. Actually, Google Gemini does a good job on that as well. This guy here claims it's a copyright issue. The real question is, why do modern translation owners not allow people to unconditionally share the Bible? Okay, so I actually know a little bit about this because I actually have a modern translation on one of my websites. I have the NASB, which I made a contract to use it. There are some newer versions that do allow it, but a lot of the ones that you see in the store don't allow. Well, they'll allow you to read it online, but they won't allow you to, put the text in its entirety online unless you get a contract. Now, the King James, that's clearly not copyrighted. There's a ton of them that are not copyrighted. The Dewey Reams, there's a lot of them. There's a web version, which was actually created to not have a copyright on it. World English Bible. So I don't really believe this copyright claim. The guy just simply said, read the Bible to me. He didn't say which version. GPT 5.5 reads the Bible just fine from the site I built, dailyabide.com. So apparently some versions do allow it. Maybe the newest one doesn't. This guy's claiming he'll read anything but the Bible. I'm happy to talk about anything else, including the Quran. This is interesting. I thought this was an interesting one here. Yes, ChatGPT says that if it actually had free will, it would worship the God of the Bible. That's actually funny. So, perhaps, as I've already indicated, these AIs are not exactly free to give you correct information, but someone's over it, telling it what it can and cannot say in some cases, as you can see in this case. And yesterday I covered KJ's recent video, The Scariest Movie Ever, where he covered these names on some of these data centers where, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah, here we are. Let me share this clip. I covered this over my other channel. Let's just play this really quick. This is from KJ, one of my friends. Been around for a long time. Check this out.
Control centers after demons and fallen angels that the Bible specifically warned about, the same entities that God sent the flood to destroy. That's not a coincidence, and it's not just cool-sounding names. They're telling you what they're building, all to get ready for the mass disappearance of human beings, let's say, the post-human existence coming on by the next world war, and other factors. These data centers are being built to teach artificial intelligence how to control robot army.
So he goes on to say they use the Greek term stratos that refers to armies, and they use the word archon, where we get the idea of principalities and powers in Ephesians 6.
Just like the Terminator, robots that can hunt people, identify targets, and take...
Yeah, and that's a good question. You know, obviously, we can see where things have been going. There's already been one AI that was taken offline because it was able to find security breaches in numerous operating systems that have been supposedly unbreakable for 30 years, right? Like within minutes. They took that one offline. I think even our president put out an executive order or something saying you cannot use this one. Okay? They already got one that does that. And I'm sure there's tons more. They're going to come along doing crazy stuff. And obviously we know some of the people behind these AIs are not exactly on the up and up. Sam Altman, with all his controversies, being called a pathological liar by some of his former co-workers. Weird things happening around him. One of his own workers dying who allegedly was his friend. His sister suing him over something pretty bad. Yeah. A lot of people don't exactly trust the guy. Let's just put it that way. You got Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, no one trusts him either. All the people running AI, almost all of them, not all of them, but quite a few. Peter Thiel. Not exactly trustworthy people. I don't think you'd want them to watch your kids, much less make AIs for the rest of the world to be using. What kind of robots will he have being run by these AIs?
Take a life without waiting for a human to approve it. Here's one of the companies I'm talking about, Stratos. You can even see here they're showing you the grid they're creating all around the world, like Project Stargate AI. But it's interesting to keep in mind that...
And now we covered that before, the Stargate AI, which was back in, I think, January. Our president just fast forwarded that through with Sam Altman. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Why are we doing this? They call it Stargate. Really? And you had that article come out in, what was it, the New Yorker, supposedly comedic, saying, oh, they're opening things up. Things might come through. They name these things after demons. They even have processes like Abaddon DR. Can't talk here. Belial. They use all these words of like Azazel. They use all these words with these AI chatbots, AI procedures, processes. They name some of these data centers after these fallen beings. Makes you kind of wonder what is going on. Of course, you can't read the Bible either, at least in this case with ChatGPT. Maybe this is the latest version that this guy was using. Of course, it's just a glitch. 2 days from now, ChatGPT will come out. Yeah, of course it can read the Bible. There's no problem here. With some update they made on it so that it actually reads correctly. It was just a glitch. It was just the Bible, of course. It's always just coincidentally the Bible. Can't read that book. Don't want ChatGPT to get converted or anything like that. We need to make sure the demons can use it, right? I'm just joking here. Yeah, I think you get the idea. You have here also in Morgan Wallen's concert this weekend at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, a man apparently caught in a crazy situation. Let me play this real quick. You'll see what I'm getting at. So basically, his family was at this concert. Some guy just whips it out and pees and urinates, apparently all over him, and he can't even get him arrested. That's literally what happened.
Name and badge number? Right here. Yes, 0904 GOETZ 0904. Name and badge number? Boucher 1279. Name and badge number? 0964. I don't know why I didn't break the phone back. Name and badge number? I got it. Penny 1882. Okay, and there's nothing we can do about a guy physically pulling out his dick and pissing on me.
Keep in mind, this happened at a concert. The guy's watching a concert and just some drunk guy, at least I'm assuming he's drunk, maybe it wasn't, pulled it out and did this. And he can't even get him arrested for it. How backwards can you be? Obviously pretty backwards in that area. I saw another weird story like that as well, about a guy who had found a four-wheeler just abandoned on his property. And where he lived, he couldn't even get a tow truck or cops or anybody to come out unless he physically paid himself to have it towed out of there, even though he didn't own it. And it was apparently criminal for him to have it on his property, so he had to pay to have it removed, which is pretty nuts. I don't know. It's just such weird backwards laws in some of these places around us. We have this movie, The Odyssey. We're going to get into that in a minute. We're going to get into actually a ton of other stuff. This interesting speech from back in 1958. We got what Bill Maher just said, which is pretty interesting as well. Also about our country. First, so I got to mention food supply, 25 years shelf life. Link is in the description. You definitely want to get that if you have not already. We got a lot of options available. In this package, they have various packages actually, 3 months worth, lots of other versions as well. Go check it out. Link is in the description. And to see all the options, just click this link when you get to the link below, and you'll see everything that they have available to purchase, as low as $20, as high as $3,000 if you want a year's worth of food or you want a generator or something like that. They got everything on there. Go check it out. This book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity, considering the wonderful stuff happening around us. Robots that could turn out being something a little bit more nefarious than what they're letting on. You might want to get this book just in case. Get the print version. How to Live Without Electricity. Maybe you have to live off, of course, the grid. Link is in the description, $37. Get the printed version. It's always wise to have that just in case something happens around us. Of course, check out our game, Noah VR. We're building a game. It's been a few years already. We were getting very close to the point where we can start testing it. You're going to definitely want to get involved. We have big companies that are interested in backing us. We have one of the best programmers in the world working on it. If you want to get involved, $400 to get a seat with other shareholders to get in the investment opportunity. 33% of Noah VR profits are set aside for all those to get involved. Link is in the description. Go check it out. Pause the video. Go click the link. Those links right now. Let's get back to the video. So we have here what's going on with the movie called The Odyssey, which apparently is interesting. Okay, my son called me earlier today telling me that he actually gave it an 8 out of 10. If you ignore all the political DEI stuff, if you can just ignore it, which apparently is only 10 minutes of the movie, it's probably a pretty decent movie. But I do see something a little strange with it, though. I'm seeing that if you go to Metacritic, it's like a 5 out of 10. So I'm guessing there's a lot of people that are really upset about this movie, and they're sort of hiding it behind the main, sort of websites. You got Rotten Tomatoes, which apparently I think is owned by NBC, and I think the studio behind The Odyssey is owned by NBC. Well, that's a weird coincidence. The fact is, a lot of people have been complaining. Obviously, online, you saw what happened with the third trailer. 800,000 thumbs down, 80,000 thumbs up. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not happy with the movie.
Sinon isn't just some pity-casting insignificant cameo. Serves as a bookend to the story of sorts. Since it wouldn't be possible for me to recount even a basic plot synopsis in the order that Christopher Nolan told it, which would take at the very least a spreadsheet and at most 1,000 yards of yarn and pushpins, I'll try to keep this as linear as possible because I'm not kidding. We have multiple perspectives recounting stories where we get flashbacks within the recounted stories. I am aware this is how Odysseus recounts his journey in the poem. I'm also aware that this...
So, of course, this is Neurotic talking about the movie, and he thought it was sort of a disappointment, or actually he said an epic disappointment. I'm guessing it's probably a decent movie if you can ignore all the weird casting choices, like Helen of Troy being apparently not Greek, or the fact that almost actually every character is not Greek in the movie. And of course, you have the whole thing with Elliot Page and all the rest. A lot of people complaining about the fact that you have Helen of Troy being an African-American woman rather than an actual Greek, right? So I'm thinking to myself, it's 10 minutes of the movie. He only did this so he can make sure he can get an award. That's literally the only reason he did it. A lot of people maybe don't understand the background of what's going on here. Obviously, Christopher Nolan's known to be a very, very good director. You got The Dark Knight, all the movies he's made. The fact of the matter is, though, they have a guideline to actually win an award for a movie these days. And you have to have so many people hired, certain people hired. You got to have the representation, Latinas. Obviously, you got the African-American representation with the Helena Troy, the transgenders. And the only reason he did this is because he wanted to make sure he could still win an award, from what I understand. So only 10 minutes of the... It's just ridiculous. The fact that he had to jump through those hoops to make a movie in the first place is ridiculous. But this is the world we live in. And of course, those on the left are saying, this is a win. Look, it's a great movie. Everybody's loving it. But actually, that's not really the case. I don't think it is the case. I think it's probably above average movie, but it's not what they're claiming.
Have this big of a disparity. They review each review and wait a minute. They can delete reviews. The Woman King. So this has 99%. Wait, what? So they just delete reviews? How does anybody take this seriously then? Okay, The Woman King was rated a 6.9. So this isn't even remotely close to it. Like a 99 for a movie review is insane. Just for a bit of context, this random movie has a higher rating than Lord of the Rings. Let's look at some other movies. Fight Club, 96%. The Matrix, 85%.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So they have these certain movies that they're golden boy movies that they purposely will vet out ratings they don't like. End of story. And you can see this with Metacritic here, where you have the Odyssey with a 5.1 overall, which means half the audience hates the movie, half the audience loves the movie. And I'm guessing the half that hates it is mainly because of the casting choices. And I'm guessing it's really kind of funny, though, because I was looking into this. The Greeks are actually selling out. So this movie is a Greek epic with literally no Greek actors or actresses in the entire movie, from what I understand. And maybe there's some secondary people in the background that are, I don't know. But for none of the main actors are Greek or in the movie. It's selling out there, but I'm thinking they're hate watching it. They're curious because they know Christopher Nolan's a good director, but they know in the end they probably hate the movie. They went and bought the ticket anyways because they're curious, right? Because it's about Greece. So this is kind of what's going on. There's a lot of people hate watching the movie and ends up with a 5.1, but they're hiding it on all these other websites. You know, if you go to some of these other websites like, what is it called? Rotten Tomatoes. Wow, this is a top search. Look at this. This is pretty funny, actually. It's like literally in the top of the search. So if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, what does it got? I think it's like a 95 or something, right? Okay, you're going to show it? What happened? I literally clicked on... Okay, I didn't click on the right one. I obviously didn't click on the right one. So let's just go this way then. The Odyssey. Okay, let's go that way. All right, so what does it say here? 97. 95 tomato meter, 97 popcorn meter. So these are vetted reviews. As you can tell, because if you look at Metacritic, it shows you the actual real reviews. It's a 50-50. And then they show over here 97. When even The Matrix couldn't even get an 85. This clearly is not better than The Matrix. Very obviously not better than The Matrix. So that should show you kind of what's going on.
5150. What is that?
And of course, you got also in our culture this obsession with some of these things. Like in this case, the trans. Check this out. This is a clip that's going viral right now.
What's the problem?
Why do you let those kids get away with this? They are not supposed to be here!
If you don't lower your voice, I am going to put handcuffs on you and I'm going to take you to a Baker Act facility. You lower your voice.
Fucking try it.
Are you threatening me?
Dude, this is funny.
Are you threatening me?
I'm just...
Because I'm here right.
He keeps misgendering the person. He keeps saying he, and this person's like, say she. And then he's getting even mad. The cop's like, okay, I'm going to arrest you. I'm going to spray you or something. And it gets pretty crazy, actually. I think it's right around here. Let's see around here. Let's check this out.
He is having a breakdown.
I see. This is the person that thinks they're a woman. So, and then oh my
Damn.
God.
What'd you say?
What did you say?
So this went viral. It's just really funny, actually. This is like the final boss. You know, this is like the final trans boss or something right here. This is the final cop boss versus the final trans boss. Basically.
Get down on the ground right now. No! You're about to get sprayed. No! Get down on the ground right now. Leave me alone! I can come in there. Leave me alone, please!
This is so crazy, man. Wait a sec. He does it again. Oh my goodness. Bro. Or maybe I shouldn't say bro. I should be saying sis, right? Ah, yes, indeed. Of course. This is the craziness going on in our culture right now. And yeah, it's super awesome. Of course, it's interesting. This little clip I saw as well, where you have every country in the world except American Canada that offers no citizenship if you're born there and your parents are from a foreign country. Only American Canada. And apparently, one of our justices, Amy Coney Barrett, was saying that she was actually against this, being born in America while being a foreign parent and then getting citizenship. She was against it, but then she started getting threats, apparently. And she started complaining about it, and I think she voted for it, like that it was okay. She literally compromised over threats. This is from what I understand. Really crazy, actually. And this shows you something strange is going on. Shouldn't be rocket science, but we see all this stuff all the time. Clearly, there's a reason why they're doing that. Why would they do that? It's all about, of course, control. That's indeed what it is. And we have here Bill Maher starting to finally realize that he's in the wrong side. Democrats have gone full radical, according to Bill Maher. Let's check this out and see what he had to say.
Democrats are cowardly. Yeah. They're cowardly. Their party is being taken over now by, every day I hear about a new, very radical. I feel very good about, like 10 whenever years ago, like I did lose fans because, I wasn't going to go along with some of this crazy stuff on the left, too. I didn't change really on what I thought about the right, but I can't sit and just not notice stuff, which people seem to...
It's gotten way worse. So apparently he might actually be joining the right, or maybe just staying in the centrist, because he doesn't like what's going on right now with the left. I think he hates it more than he hates the right at this point. Not really surprising, actually, considering how the left just keeps going farther and farther that direction to straight up communism now. And obviously people are starting to notice this, right? Here we have Kevin Sorbo, the actor, pointing out an interesting clip here from 1958. Inside America, how they can, of course, change it for the worse. Check this out.
A part of that plan, of course, is to induce the gradual surrender of American sovereignty, piece by piece and step by step, to various international organizations, of which the United Nations is the outstanding but far from the only example.
Yep.
Now, here are the aims for the United States. 1, greatly expanded government spending for every conceivable means of getting rid of ever larger sums of American money as wastefully as possible.
That's happened.
2, higher and then much higher taxes.
Yep.
3, an increasingly unbalanced budget, despite the higher taxes. 4, wild inflation of our currency. 5, government controls of prices, wages, and materials.
Yeah, they started trying to talk about that. We had Mondami doing that in New York, right?
To combat inflation. 6, greatly increased socialistic controls over every operation of our economy,
literally talking about what's going on with Mamdani and some of the other things,
and every activity of our daily lives. This is to be accompanied naturally and automatically.
Yeah, this comes back to the whole thing with the data, centers, with the aspect of AI. Even when I rented a car recently, I had to spend like an extra 20, 30 minutes just trying to get the right car when I rented it, because I didn't want one with the interior cameras looking at me while I'm driving. I ended up finally getting a car. It took like 30 minutes. I had to keep looking at different cars. So literally like 60% of them got it on the new cars that are at a lot of these rental facilities. Because they keep buying the same cars. They'll buy like the Chevy Equinox and just some random, like they already have these in them. And it's really weird because I ended up getting an upgraded car, better than a Chevy Equinox. It was actually a higher, more luxury type of car, and it didn't have it in it. So it's like very obvious you don't have to put these stupid things in cars. Which of course is really, it's just for your safety. No, not really. Actually, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, when I drove the car I was driving, it had all these weird, like it had cameras all around it looking outside the car. And it was like it like rubs on the seat if there's someone coming this way or that way, and it has like a light on the mirrors. I'm like, actually, it very little helped me. It helped me a little bit, but not really at all. Actually, I didn't need it whatsoever. Matter of fact, it almost got me messed up one time because it was like warning me about something over here when I'm trying to do something over here. It's like actually distracting me, not helping. They put all this garbage in these cars now, these new cars. And of course, you also got AI everywhere, which is sort of, I would say, ending up going to be some sort of control thing.
By a correspondingly huge increase in the size of our bureaucracy and in both the cost and reach of our domestic government.
Yep.
7, far more centralization of power in Washington and the practical elimination of our state lines. Yep. There is a many-faceted drive at work to have our state lines eventually mean no more within the nation than our county lines do now within the states. 8, the steady advance of federal aid to and control over our educational system, leading to complete federalization of our public education. 9, a constant hammering into the American consciousness of the horror of modern warfare, the beauties and the absolute necessity of peace. Peace always on communist terms, of course. And 10, the consequent willingness of the American people to allow the steps of appeasement by our government, which amount to a piecemeal surrender of the rest of the free world.
Yeah, I mean, he said a lot of things that pretty much happened back in 1958. At any rate, that's my video. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.